Masculinity is back, boys. Back in charge, running things again, and it feels oh so good. This has been my favorite day on the internet by far this year because the salt has just been mwah. Women have everywhere have been screaming and crying and overreacting. It's been really fun to watch and to speak on. But in case you're curious, well, first and foremost, all the images in this video are AI. I was thinking about using the what's that called? The like compilations of the salt as images for this video, but nah, boys. We're gonna soak in some beautiful woman, some Trump badassery, and I'm gonna explain to everyone exactly how this happened. Now, 4 years ago, 2020, well, in the Times themselves, they stated how that election was, quote unquote, I'm quoting them here, fortified. Over the past 4 years, well, that fortification has been knocked down in a lot of swing states. And you've also had the likes of Scott Pressler and others going into states and having just gigantic voter drives and really pressing the matter as far as election integrity goes. And so this go around, all the tricks that helped fortify the election for Biden, well, for really, let's be honest about it, Obama and their whole regime, yeah, they weren't working this time. They couldn't work this time. And a part of the reason why they couldn't work this time was Biden himself. Now, guys, Biden may have single-handedly saved the republic because the reason he picked Kamala Harris as vice president was as a insurance, a little bit of insurance because, she is and has been since the primaries where Tulsi Gabbard cleaned her clock awful. All right. Kamala Harris is just awful. She's unlikable. She's not authentic. She's very fake. And ladies, one of the reasons why many of you, those of you in your right mind, and God bless all of the sweet, beautiful women who did go out and vote in their best interests. I mean, yeah, like everybody did. Like it was he completely mopped the floor to a point where there are people finally asking, hey, what's the deal with 2020? Because like you're not even nowhere near close to those numbers. It's been just beautiful to witness over the past few hours. It hasn't even been 24 hours yet, and Bitcoin is up 10%. RFK, he's looking for Fauci, and and there are quite a few formerly how do I say that foreign leaders with a lot of chutzpah about them who've decided to, maybe dial back a little bit of that assertiveness that they done had in a voice for the past 4 years, and are now coming around to like, hey, Trump, what's up? Like, say like everybody's congratulating. It's good times had by all, man, for real. But that's ultimately how we've ended up in this situation. For those who are just confused, who may not fully understand, like, guys, look, I've been in the political game for well over a decade at this point, right? And it's how I, on January 6th, 2021, was able to just say, and you can go back, the video's still up here on the channel. This is going to be a rough 4 years, but by the time the 4 years was over, that things would be so bad that it would be impossible for Trump not to be able to to get elected once again. And so it's been really, it's just sitting back and waiting on everybody else to catch up has been a pain in the ass. I ain't gonna lie. It sucks because the thing about America, particularly these bubbles that we all live in, because we all do, right? Our bubbles are as big as, you know, those who are around us, our communities, our environments, and the like. And so if everybody in your environment is telling you, yeah, Kamala's gonna win, Kamala's gonna win, she's gonna knock it on out. Well, the thing is if you aren't politically in tune with how the process works, yeah, you would get blindsided by this. But me, my bubble has always included the entirety of the nation. I've lived from California to New Jersey with stops all over the Midwest and the like. And so I know this country, and I know this country well enough to know that, you know, no matter what bubble you live in, trust me, there's just a completely different world out there. So it's harder for me to get blindsided when things take place because I can understand where the person that you disagree with comes from, you know? And so, you know, when it came to the economy, when it came to, you know, mainly the economy, but our presence in foreign wars, the like spending and the like, yeah, a lot of people are fed up and tired of it. Like, the country was ran like New Jersey for 4 years, and the country was like, fuck that. And they did, you know? So that's like that. And if you can't understand that, then, you know, you don't want to understand it. There's like, I understand, particularly when it comes to women. That's why you're supposed to be under, you are under your father and your husband. There's a man that is there to, that you're supposed to trust and is there to, that is supposed to guide you and help you to understand and come to grips with how these things go, you know, which is why I sit here and say how masculinity is back on the menu, boys. We're back. It feels good, you know, like men are in charge again, and it feels great because that's the thing about the Obama regime. It's very feminine. It's all about the empathy and the feelings and the hopes and the changes and shit, and not actually doing what needs to be done. And particularly when you have access to the largest piggy bank in the universe, well, you're just going to spend as if daddy's credit card has no limit. And one thing that you gotta say about Trump is that the man knows business. One of the things that we've discussed on this channel several times is how Trump's a capitalist. And when it comes to capitalism, that capitalism doesn't have a lot of space for racism because everybody money green. We've gone over this, but if you just happen upon this video, if the title of the video appealed to you enough for you to come in, this is something that I talk about on this channel, because this is my main channel, and the theme of this channel is masculinity and how you know, masculinity versus femininity. And whereas I personally and as men, we tend to believe in the balance, the feminine doesn't, which is why we've had just today has been the day that today has been. And you got a lot of people now out here making a ton of different predictions about, you know, what's coming next. And, oh my goodness, well, you know, they can't let this stand and they're going to riot and all this other shit. And I'm not seeing it. Primarily because, A, where's Antifa? Where have they been, first and foremost, because they were a huge catalyst. BLM's dead. Like, a lot of the organizations, people got hip to, people got wise to, you know? People has finally started to come around and understand that, hey, emotions are useless, right? It's about our actions, particularly when it comes to men and masculinity. See, ladies, you love to be lied to. You love the deceit. Regardless of what you say, I know, oh my goodness, yes, we care so much about honesty and all this other shit. No, not in the slightest. And by the way, speaking of honesty, honestly, this is supposed to be the Wu-Tang Clan, specifically Method Man and RZA. But, you know, AI, black guy is a black guy, right? So I find that funny. But either ways, guys, yeah, that's how. So that ultimately, when they sit there and say, and to get back to the whole how do we get here theme of the video, yeah, so Kamala Harris has always been Biden's insurance policy. And during that debate between President Trump and Biden, when Biden was faltering as hard as he was, Obama was looking at him like, you know what, we're going to have to get you on up out of here. And they wanted to choose. They wanted to wait until the convention to choose, to be able to, like, you know, have a quick go around and pick maybe a Gavin Newsom, more than likely Gavin Newsom, to be the face of the whole thing. Biden was like, oh, okay, you know what? Hey, Kamala, I want you. I choose you. See, thing is that nobody else wanted Kamala because they all knew how incredibly unlikable she was. But, you know, Biden said, all right, bet, I'm going to pull my Trump card, quite literally. And then you see all the gaffes that, quote unquote gaffes that was taking place during the election, where during the campaign, where Biden would be wearing MAGA stuff and be saying, oh yeah, Trump's gonna win, and the like, just completely sandbagging the Kamala Harris campaign, which Kamala did a fantastic job of doing herself, because ladies, you're not men. And when you try to emulate men and try to emulate what men do, it never works out. It always comes across as very weird and very awkward. But due to that side of the equation, you know, the dim liberal side of things being so far dim and liberal, you've kind of pushed everyone who had even the slightest the slightest disagreement with what you were doing towards Trump. And that's another thing that I really want to discuss, is the aftermath, right? Because you have morons out there talking about how Jersey is a swing state now. Trump is a once-in-a-lifetime type phenomenon. You can't sit here and claim victory for the Republican Party when the Republican Party has done absolutely nothing. The Republican Party, particularly here in New Jersey, was completely anti-Trump up until about 2 weeks ago. And so thusly, like, to sit here and say, oh yeah, well, now we're about to really do some damage and do great things. It's that same machine and apparatus that's been here the entire time, it's still here. So yeah, don't get your hopes up that high without actually going out there and handling the business and the like. And in order to finally wrap this on up and really finish off with this entire video, the last thing I want to discuss is Joe Rogan. Now, Joe Rogan waited until the very last moment in order to make an endorsement. And he had Trump out there and everybody and their mother out there talking about how, oh yes, this is such a great thing. It's such a great thing. And it's some middle of the road bullshit, right? Well, let me tell you something. I'm still not a fan of Trump because I've maintained my neutrality on Trump this entire time, primarily due to the pandemic, which like my main problem with him being the pandemic, which he is now kind of going to be like, yo, I was listening to Fauci, because RFK was like, yeah, where's Fauci? So like, we'll see how everything plays out. But ultimately, like, the writing had been on the wall for the past 4 years. And you as what the mainstream has tried to present as the voice of masculinity, you wait until the very last second. You don't sit here and call this, you know, years ago or months ago. That I gotta say, it's complete bullshit. Now, endorsements in general, you know, all celebrity endorsements are complete bullshit. If you're listening to any of these people to get your opinion, then it's nonsense. Fuck them. But the mainstream media, like I said, they've been presenting Joe Rogan as, like, you know, men and masculinity and everything else like that. But for him to be so fucking far behind on this, I think, just like, nah. Man, it goes the same thing with all your quote unquote internet dads out there, from the Tates to Rogan to Jordan B. Peterson or anything else like that. We're men, guys. We don't have heroes. We're our own heroes. Those of us who have children. You're their hero. And now that things, one of the things that I really hope locks in is the need for, because the thing about masculinity, right, is that we don't have to, like, our values inherent. Your value, my brother, is inherent. I can take, what I could accomplish with two of you would take me about 10 to 15 women to get done. My boys, you're powerful, you're strong, and a damn thing on this earth we can't accomplish together as long as we're all in our proper place and in our proper mind. And this right here, I think it's a bit of an example of such. So, guys, that being said, let me know what you think of the AI images. I think the Ninja one's pretty cool. I think they've all been pretty cool. You might have been wondering, what was up with the Hulk, picture. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I wanted him kicking Hulk in the balls, but it didn't give him. Like, AI is still really weird with hands and with feet, with appendages. So, guys, this is good. This is a fantastic start. But masculinity is back on the menu, my boys. All right, feelings, emotions, all that other shit. It's time for it to be exactly in its place. You know, it's time for things to go back into their place, go back into God's order. You know, the all the emotions and the butt hurt and the feel and the fifis. Yeah, that's woman work. All right, we're men. We do men. We actually do. It's time to really, really do. Till the next one, boys.